All right, so I got half the fence up here. I got the hole drilled out, but I got to bring a shop vac, and I'm gonna suck the dirt out by, just taking a long stick, knocking it loose and sucking it out to get the pole down in there. I got the poles over there. And I do have a very important question I need you guys to answer, because it means everything on this build. So I need to know if I'm cheating or not, because I have an opportunity to do something crazy. But let me finish about the fence and then we'll get to that. So anyways, that hole's done. I'm bringing the shop vac. I'm gonna stick a stick down there, break up, and I'm gonna suck up all the dirt up out of there so I can get the pole down there. Got a couple bags of concrete on half off from Lowe's, and then I'm gonna knock the concrete off them, and I gotta put one here, and I'm gonna dig up, since I got 2 bags of concrete, I'm gonna dig a hole right here, and I have a what do you call these damn things, hitching post. So I bought this at an auction for $10. I've been trying to sell it, nobody really wants it, so I'm gonna go ahead and mount it and have it where I can chain down trailers or whatever, anything I leave over here. Okay, but let's talk about this thing. Okay, so I got some really great news and a couple of little bad things. So the engine turns over, which that right there, that is a blessing in itself. Transmission, I can't put it in gear, but it's quite possibly all I gotta do is have it running to where, the sinkers are lining up. It might go in gear. Transmissions are not that expensive on this vehicle, so I'm not really concerned about that as being a major cost. The suspension is 100% shot. Okay, so I'm actually looking at buying another Beetle, preferably one with a title, which will make things easy, but and cutting all this off and just putting a whole brand new suspension on the back. Same thing with the front, although I'm probably going to order in a more adjustable suspension. I may pay a little bit extra and buy another complete kit. I got to buy the steering, everything else. The welds here, so up front you can see this is cut here. If you go back, it's cut over here. Plus it has this dog leg thing right here. Here you see right here where it comes out. I don't know if it was hit and bent, but this right here, it stops right here. If you go straight across, it stops back over there. So I know pretty much for me to do it the way that I think is right, and I know some of this has to do with the suspension, and they made it work, but I want this thing to be roadworthy at 120 miles per hour, or at least 65. Okay, I don't want to die in this thing, at least not today. Whoops, I hit my phone, sorry about that. So this right here is not going to be an issue, I don't think. These are easily, you could buy these, they're not too expensive. But the whole front end, I'm going to cut it off, re-weld the whole entire thing. There is a bad weld right here that was ground down, and then right here, right here. So right here, there's actually a crack in the frame. So with that, and the gaps missing on both sides, and this is just some of the stuff I've been looking. I haven't even got into grinding or actually seeing what's really wrong with it. I know I'm going to need some welding on it. I'm not really concerned about that. It's a couple $100 in welding. But here's the thing where I might be cheating. I actually went to go look at a Saturn Sky, about buying a Saturn Sky and using all the components off a Sky on here and turning it into a rail car, or possibly taking the body off of this and putting it onto a Sky, even with all the shit, So I personally think that's cheating, because I wanted to do a full build, custom build. I think that's cheating if I go out and buy another car, But I also found a Kia Soul at the same place. The guy, we may be able to do a little barter deal where I put in some windows for him and he gives me the Kia Soul. We do a 1-for-1 swap. Okay, if I do that, I'm still going to do the VW custom front end. Okay, it's going to be a sandrail front end, but I'm thinking about reversing the engine and transmission and putting a Kia Soul water-cooled engine back here. Now, I don't think that's cheating if I take the engine, and then I can maybe take a couple of the Kia Soul body panels and title it as a Kia Soul. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So I still want to go through the process and trying to get a title for this, regardless of how I do it. But I think it's definitely cheating if I buy the Saturn Sky. But if I buy the Kia Soul, basically trade, and then put the engine in here, use the body panels, and then sell everything off to hopefully get money to budget this, would that be considered cheating? And just go into a different thing, still keeping the same frame, still keeping this, but titling it as a Kia Soul, and just saying, okay, I made a custom body for a Kia Soul. You know, because this body is going to be a starting point. And I think I mentioned in the last video, I want to do something special. Okay, in the past, I have done wide body kits by doing my own fiberglass work. Okay, I used to build cars, I used to build speaker boxes, I've done a lot of crazy crap, and I've been working in fiberglass for the past 25 years doing fiberglass doors. I kind of want to build like a, not Batmobile, but I want to do a Batmobile-esque, you know, like do my own custom foam and shape it and do a full-blown, just insane body on this thing. So, and I'm talking about the cardboard, I'm talking about the plywood, I'm talking about the boat expansion foam, I'm talking about hand-laid fiberglass, I'm talking about Bondo, paint, body. That's what I kind of want to do, okay? But I'm thinking the Kia Soul, is it worth paying? He's selling it for $1,800, but I'm going to do the windows for about $1,800, so we're going to call it a wash if that deal works out. But it gets me a title. I might be able to skip a couple things in DMV. And it gets me a much more powerful power plant for the back. And of course, I'd have to fabricate, you know, the suspension and, you know, converting a front wheel drive engine into a mid or rear wheel drive thing. I may have to move the axle back. I may have to do a whole brand new suspension, half shafts, motor mounts. I already know all that. That doesn't faze me a bit. It's hard, but it's not difficult, okay? I just got in a conversation with my sister about that, so she knows what I'm talking about at least. Like, this stuff here is not difficult to me, you know. When my dad was alive, you know, he basically showed me how to look at the world, which is a way that helps me out through life. And he explained to me, he's like, can you rebuild an engine? I says, no. And take in mind, I'm like, you know, 8, 9 years old. In fact, we're behind here, there used to be an old trail by the lake, and we used to take the van back there and go fishing and all that kind of stuff. We used to shoot guns back there. There's a big swamp back there, and one day I'll walk back there and show you what the hell's going on back there. But he says, you think you could rebuild an engine? I said, no. He says, well, you do know that all you have to do to rebuild an engine is loosen bolts and tighten bolts in the right order. He says where everybody messes up is they either forget to order or don't care about the order. But when you rebuild an engine, all you're doing is loosening bolts and tightening bolts. Now, to the gearheads, I know there's some other things involved, but at the end of the day, you're loosening bolts and you're tightening bolts. And that helped me out, not just with the mechanical inclinations that I have, but it helped me out in life because I look at everything in a simplistic view. And a lot of stuff don't bother me. So, and that's just a little story, just, you know, sidebar from this, but it helps me look at this and see a lot more than what's here. So, but I'm really curious, do you think me buying a Kia Soul and scavenging mainly for the title, but for parts, would be cheating on this? Because I really don't care about keeping it air cooled. In fact, I was already thinking about doing the 2.2 Cobalt supercharged engine in it anyways. So, and my biggest concern about swapping it over, a little bit of the fabrication, it's just time, that's all it is. I'm actually worried about, is the computer going to talk to itself after I gut, you know, most of it. So I may have to flash it, and I don't know how much stuff there is out there for Kia, you know, dune buggies. So, I also know there's some LS swaps. Subarus are really easy to throw in here. So I'm looking at a couple different options. Right now is getting the fence done, getting the I have a 13 by 20 enclosed, like one of them canvas carports. I'm gonna set that up to put this inside, and you know, getting it up on jack stands, starting to disassemble some stuff. I'm gonna pull the engine, probably go through the engine, get it all cleaned up. I'm about 88% sure that the engine's fine. I may have to, you know, hone it out, you know, maybe buy some new jugs for it, but everything seems to, I mean, I spun it over by hand, and I don't see any hiccups. Good compression for what I can tell. I think the transmission, more or less, you know how these damn things go, you know, with the synchros. So, but I've done 914s in the past. I've even thought about buying a 914 transaxle and running a 4.3 Chevy V6. So, you know, there's a lot of options for here, and there's a decent amount of room back here. I can always cut the back off, extend it out. You know, I really don't like this weld right here, so I'm already thinking about just cutting all that off and starting over from there. So, but I still don't think I lost at $20. But I mean, even if I was to say, okay, scrap, I don't want to scrap the thing, but even if I did, I'll make more than 20 bucks just scrapping it. But I really don't want to do that. I want to do something really crazy, and this isn't going to be done in a month. I don't have a team of people helping me out behind the scenes. I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars of YouTube money. This is one guy doing it, you know, whenever he finds time. So, but the first thing is, I can't even, I'm still trying to find tools to even take this thing apart. But I did find some. I got a truck here full of tools, and once I get everything set up, I'm gonna set up a couple tables and make sure everything's secure. I even thought about buying one of them little aluminum sheds and putting it here somewhere, but for right now, I think I'm gonna use my little, I'm boarding all this up like I did over here. So I'm gonna board all that up and probably use that as my little workshop for the more intricate things, my little clean room. So, and just so you know, I really shouldn't be doing this. If anybody who's new here that came because of this car, I'm a contractor. I do door and window installations. I haven't built a car shit since like 2002, you know, so it's been a minute. But I'm trying to close up the door business. I was involved in a bad car accident. You know, nothing really works like it used to, and figured one last run. This is kind of probably going to be the last car I ever build. So, but anyways, yeah, tell me if I'm cheating by just buying another car and kind of skipping the line for the title thing. So, because I still want to see how hard it is to get a title for something that's homemade, for all the guys who, you know, find trailers without titles and cars without titles. How hard is it actually to get a title? So, but that's enough of this. Thank you very much for watching. Do the whole like, thumbs up, thumbs down, you know, all that kind of mess. Say some shit. If you think I'm doing something wrong, let me know. But, yeah, I really want to do something really wicked with this. Peace, love, money. I'm out.